Okay, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on when are you watching this video. But this video will be the day 3 notes for our Algebra 1 class. We'll be talking about how to collect data, and it will be short because data collection, there are a few things that you have to know, which is the core essence of this. Okay, before we move on, let's talk about the two big methods of gathering data. The first one is collecting data, and the second is acquiring data. The To know the difference, let's actually compare these two data methods. First one, collecting, is used for experiments. For example, when you want to see the relationship between two variables, and if you want to make a scientific experiment behind it, like the temperature of water versus the frog egg population, for example, then you collect the data. Um, Another good example for collecting a data would be a survey or a poll. Survey is a good way to collect data, and like I said, you are gathering new information when you are collecting data. The What about acquiring a data? Uh, Acquiring a data is usually used in the area of gathering or research. And some good examples for acquiring a data is from a paper or writings, like not just writings, like what would be a good word? Like scholar, like confirmed writing. This is a good example for acquiring data, and the key concept to know about acquiring data is that you are gathering data that already exists from somewhere. You're not gathering new data, which is collecting data. Collecting data is like gathering new data, and I'll write it here. You're getting collecting new data, while acquiring data is you're just using the data that is already exists. That is the core difference between those two. But there are one common thing you have to consider when you're collecting or acquiring a data. And the key concept is randomization. Excuse me, I don't know why this is writing by itself. Again, coming back to the concept, either collecting or acquiring data, there is a core thing that you should know, and that is called randomization. Randomization. Because by the definition, randomization is the process that often results in a representative sample. And a simple random sample is very beneficial because it gives all the population an equal chance to be selected. That gives us a fair amount of honesty on the data. There's no that's it's not biased, if I have to say, and we're gonna go over bias later. If a member of the population on equal chance of being selected. That is a good thing about randomization, but what happens if there is no randomization when you're collecting a data? Let's say you are picking by your preference. Then what happens? And that is called a non-random sample. And if you collect the data by non-randomizing, then it may result in a sample that is that is not representative. That's the core word. That is not representative of the population. Like and as data continues having a non-random sample, then a bias can occur. bias is like when the methods used to gather and generate data present an inaccurate depis- depiction of reality. So like you can say like it's like favored data, and that should not happen. Like data should be fair, and that represents a good data, and we can trust the data. But like I said, if you do a non-random sample, then a bias can occur. If a bias occurs, then the data is favored. Then the whole entire research is not trustworthy, if I have to say. Then let's see like how to differ between a random sample and a non-random sample. First one, you want to know which sport people prefer to watch, so you stand outside after a football game ends and survey the fans. Absolutely, this is non-random because you want to research uh like the sport that people prefer to watch. Like there are lots of sports in the world like baseball, basketball, football, whatever. But where is this person collecting data? Outside after a football game. That means the data that this person is collecting is like very biased to the football game fans, and that will not give you good data. What about the second one? Your high school wants to know what ninth graders think of their PE class, so they poll 100 random ninth graders. This is a very good example of a sample of a excuse me, my bad. This is like a good example for a simple random because, like I said, this person wants to know what the ninth graders think about their PE class, but where is this person collecting from? From 100 random ninth graders. It has the word random. So absolutely, this is a simple random data collection. Therefore, this is a trustworthy data. What about the third one? A hip hop radio station wants to know what the most popular type of music is, so they have listeners call in to share. Uh, this is a non-random, and I'll tell you why. This hip hop radio station, like a radio station that mostly like broadcast hip hop music, wants to know the most popular type of music. Like I said, like between pop, hip hop, classic, K-pop, whatever you name it. But where is this hip hop radio station collecting data? From their listeners. Their hip hop radio station listeners, like they mostly will love hip hop. So if you ask those people, they will answer, "Oh, I love hip hop," and that is already a biased data because these people are not randomly chosen. They are chosen within a range where they are expected to love hip hop. So this is a non-random sample. What about the fourth one? A local business wants to know about employee satisfaction. They choose 25 names out of a hat to survey. Absolutely, this is a good example for a simple random. Because again, these people wants to know about their employee satisfaction. Where are they collecting? How are they collecting data? They're choosing 25 names out from a hat to survey. Imagine that you're pulling out names from a hat. Can you control that? No, you cannot. Those people chosen from the names chosen from the hat are randomly chosen, therefore they are a random sample. So this is a good simple random data collection, and we have went over 4 examples of data collection. I think that is the end of our day 3 notes. This is a very simple notes. Like I said, we have talked about data collection. There are 2 ways of collecting data, which is just collecting data and acquiring data, and please know the difference between it. And among those 2 data methods, randomization should always be considered because it prevents us having a bias on our data and give us trustworthy data. And we went over 4 examples. Thank you so much for watching this video. Then I'll see you guys in day 4 notes in our unit 1.